Oh, ladies and gentlemen, how often do I have to talk about my hashtag? Very popular hashtag, by the way. What do they call it? It's the AFC hashtag. I see the AFC logo. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Why do I use that hashtag? Because it is a precautionary thing. I want people to think twice behind who you date, how you pair bond, who you bring your children around, because it is a plague going on in the urban African American black FBA foundational black, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it, right? But there is an epidemic going on, and it ain't got nothing to do with viruses. But let me give you guys the fair warning and shout out to Mommy of Three who was in the chat. Much love. Here we go. Let's get it.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And we are using people.com for this article, so thank you very much. We're going to talk about her here in a moment. And Ohio, man, Ohio, y'all are back on my radar yet again. Can we get a hashtag when you date thugs, you date death, which is actually one of my most popular hashtags. That's a hashtag that people love to use and not give me credit for, right? I don't want to see nobody type that in no other YouTuber's channel without giving credit to the AFC podcast. Be just taking my stuff and running with it. An Ohio man allegedly requested bereavement leave, which is when you have a death in the family and you request time off from work so you can grieve bereavement. Leave before killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend the day she was scheduled to give birth to his baby. No, that's a lot to absorb in a very short amount of time. He requested bereavement leave before killing his ex-girlfriend, his pregnant ex-girlfriend, the day she was scheduled to give birth to his baby, which is the guy over there on the right-hand side, Kayvon Warren, who's 30 years old. So this story does involve babies. It just involves a baby that did not get a chance to be born, okay? So this is what? Is that felicide? Is that what it is? Let me look that up and make sure that's the right term. I think they're going to charge him with what is felicide?
According to Wikipedia, filicide is the deliberate act of a parent killing their own child.
There you go. Kayvon Warren, who's 30 years old. Let me get that thug back up on my screen, right? This guy was charged with 2 counts of murder in addition to several other charges in relation to the 2023 death of a woman by the name of India Kenamore, who's right there in that scantily clad outfit, taking a pregnancy picture. It looks like a happy family. I will give her credit. And it said it looks like a happy family. It was not a happy family when it's only one person that's happy in the family, right? At least I can give her credit for trying to deliver a picture that shows her, the baby, and the man that created that child. Because too many times in our community, I don't know about the white community that well. I don't know. Maybe some white people can tell me different because I ain't from the white community. So I'm not an expert on what they be going through. Okay. But I can tell you in the black community, more times than none, when I see a pregnancy picture of a young black woman, it is usually a young black woman, her child, maybe other children, and herself. And that's about it. No man in sight. So at least the idea of trying to create a family structure, a family bond, I could at least respect that. I will give her that. But I'm going to excoriate her. So if we have some apologists out there, I'm probably about to get on y'all nerves here in just a second. So if I hope y'all got some thick skin. Hope y'all ain't got that thin stuff. She was 26 years old. India was 26 years old. And her unborn child. They gave a name to that baby also. I forgot the name already, but we'll come back to that. According to a press release issued by the Coleraine Police Department on August the 21st. So let's go to the thugs. And why is it that 3 people are being charged for her death instead of just 1? Why are 3 people being charged for a woman and her baby's death? Would anybody like to take a guess? It would be understandable if the man was mad at her and did something to her. It would be understandable if he were charged with murder. But you have 2 other Tweedledee and Tweedledum on opposite sides of him that are also charged. And you'd have to ask yourself, what do these other 2 fools have to do with this story? Okay? Robert Irvin on the left, who's 20 years old. Kayvon Warren, 30 years old, in the middle, that's the main person, and Lamar Morris Suggs, who's 22 years old. So 2 20-year-olds are also involved in this story. Were arrested in connection with the incident. Now, authorities responded to reports of a person shot at around 4:39 a.m. local time on the morning of March the 4th of 2023, the CPD said in a statement. The victim, who was later identified as India Kenamore, right there, was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say that Kenamore was in the late stages of pregnancy at the time of her death. Like, she was literally about to give birth within a day or two, which stated also resulted in the death of her unborn child. The news reached out to CPD for comment on Saturday, August the 30th, but didn't receive a response. In a press release issued by the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office on August the 28th, a couple of days ago, depending on when you're watching this, Prosecutor Connie Pillich said in an interview revealed that Warren was seeing another woman at the time of Kenamore's death. Let me say that again. The black community. Let me say that again. They said, and I quote, because this ain't me, Warren was seeing another woman at the time of Kenamore's death. She was murdered a day or 2 before she was supposed to give birth. Is it okay if I talk about in the black community, since that's the only community I'm familiar with? Can we talk about how these women love a particular type of man? I forget the term that somebody told me today. Dang, what did Kurt tell me it was? It's the type of guy. I forget what it is. It's not like a thug type, a rugged type of dude. I forget the term that he used. But these women like a rugged, tough type guy. They specifically go, in general, not all, but they specifically go for a certain type of guy, which I refer to as a thug, as in relation to his behavior, not his skin color. Okay? They like a man who is protective, the thug lion. Y'all know how I talk about the thug zoo? I cannot wait for somebody in the news or one of these YouTubers to start using that and start talking about the thug zoo. I can't wait, because I'm going to be all over they behinds like white on rice when I hear somebody use that, because I made it up. And they need to give me credit for my sayings, right? You go to the thug zoo and play with the thug lion, and you're surprised, you're shocked that the lion behaved like a lion. You tried to tame it. You tried to feed it. You tried to care for it. You tried to love it. And in the end, the lion still murdered and mauled you and your kid. Huh? Lions in the thug zoo, the thug lions, are not meant to be tamed. They are not meant to be domesticated. They are not meant to be dealt with. But what do? They continue to keep going against the grain. I continue to keep using these stories as cautionary tales to now talk to people like my daughter, who I've been doing for years. This woman at age, Kenamore is 26 years old. She's only a handful of years older than my own daughter. I'm old enough to be this woman's dad, okay? To put that in a proper perspective. I'm not a news channel. I'm literally a concerned father. And I look at these stories and I'm like, now, what if that was my kid? What would I say? What would I think? What would I tell the public if this were my own daughter? I tell you that you cannot date these type of people. And it's not to say that other people won't do something stupid, but there are just certain types of people and their behavior and their actions and their upbringing and their criminal record that show you that they have a high propensity. We're going to use our $5 words today. A high propensity to do some stupid shit. Yes? Why do I call him a thug based on his actions? Well, let's see. This man is not only getting this beautiful woman pregnant and had her fooled into thinking they're a family, taking these wonderful, beautiful family pictures, looking like a family unit, all the while he's in a full-ass relationship with somebody else. Isn't that something? She seems to be a beautiful woman. I don't know nothing about her. She could be a pain in the behind. I don't really know. But allegedly, this man did not want her to have this child, which is a whole nother effing discussion that we can have. And we're going to have that discussion with this story. We're probably going to be up all night talking about this. Now, let's go back to where I left off. They said that this man was in a relationship or seeing another woman at the time of Kennemore's death. She added that Warren plotted to kill Kennemore because he was in financial distress and did not want to have another baby. Oh, Lord have mercy. Let's talk about this story that I know all too well. Considering the fact that I've got two kids that are both about to be 18 years old here pretty soon. One, my kid being 18 years old this weekend. My daughter, shout out to her. And my son turning 18 in January. So y'all do the math, right? I've been out here in these streets and I've been a bad boy, okay? But I've tried to be a person to take care of my responsibilities on top of that. I understand the idea. Again, don't get me wrong. I understand the idea of wanting to have your fun, have your cake and eat it too, have sex with a woman and don't want her to have a kid, but you don't like to use prophylactics. You don't like to use birth control. Neither one of y'all. No condoms. But you clearly don't want to have a kid. I mean, you don't learn how to pull out very well. I mean, I don't know. That's not always a solid method. But some type of way, this man wanted to go right or vice versa. This man wanted to go left and this woman wanted to go right. How are y'all having that much sex with each other, including taking these effing pictures, and you not have a clear understanding about which direction that you want to go prior to this? I think that makes both of them unsmart. For a woman to know, women, I need y'all to have some thick skin on this. Stop flagging your boy. Stop shadow banning me just because I'm trying to keep it real. I'm trying to talk to these young women to help fix this stuff, okay? Somebody got to tell y'all. To not understand your body's gestation, to not understand your body's time of conception, to not understand, to even be in a position, not her, I think it's just a random thought in my head to think that a woman can be confused about who she got pregnant by. I think is just a wild concept in itself. Like, how the hell do you not know that? It's beyond me. But for you to hold the keys to your womb and to not know that a man does not want to procreate with you, How do you not know that? How do you not know that? How do you not have that conversation about what the effing plan is, right? Because this man is saying, I didn't want no kid. He's alive to say it. You clearly said, I'm having this kid. Your body made that decision. Your body and your actions showed me that that's the choice that you made. He showed in his actions, if we were to believe these reports, we believe that he killed this woman or participated in the murder of this woman, right? He showed in his actions this ain't what he wanted. So I'm sure they've had this conversation already. So why would you do opposite of what he wanted, especially knowing that he is a dangerous person? You had to know his level of danger. Look at his friends. Look at how he behaves. There's always yellow and red flags when it comes to dealing with people like this. They notice. This is why they're attracted to people like this. They think that that thug lion will protect them and attack everybody else. But he loves me. He gonna protect me. He would never do me like that. I got control over my thug lion. And she ends up getting caught up with 3 of them. Not 1, not 2, but 3. 3 men who concocted the world's stupidest story for how this woman ended up dead. Y'all not gonna even believe this. This man, so we've got on to the women. Let's get on to the men. To this man that may or may not be out there listening, to you young men that may be out there listening. The power that you have is before your ejaculation, which is pretty freaking powerful. To these stupid ass idiots like this, and to many more men that may be out there listening, the power is in your loins. The power is in your ejaculation. You keep it, you've got the power. You give it away, you no longer have the power. Maybelline said, I honestly don't take offense in Jay's facts. I'm even on his side when he rags on the Latino community. He puts everybody down. Damn, that don't sound like you're on my side. No, I'm just playing. I get what you're saying. He puts everybody down. Or you're basically saying that he gives it to everybody. Obviously, since he's black, he knows more the mindset. So he's on it. I appreciate that. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. Much love. I appreciate that. Thank you for understanding. People like me have already understood from living the experience where my power is, and I've learned to not just give it away, right? I've gotten better at it. I've learned. I've tried to show that in my actions. I've showed that in 18 years. I have 18 years of evidence that I have learned, right? So if you know that you are in a financial bind, so I literally had my kids back to back. I didn't learn at that time, but you know what? When them bills finally start to kick in, when them diapers finally start to kick in, when that formula and insurance and all the shit that you got to do for kids started to kick in, I said, oh, Lord, I don't need to add any more to this. I don't need to add any more to this. So I had to learn and say, you know what? Going forward, I need to make different decisions about my ejaculation habits, right? Once a man gives up that power to a woman, you do not have the right to force her with whatever choice that she makes. Your influence should be prior to that, not after. I got to take a drink right after that, because that's some real shit. Shout out to Girls Gone Wine in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. The power that the man has. Oh, I see. Ain't nobody trying to hit that like button, huh? I see that. People taking away their likes. Y'all hit that thumbs up for me, please. The power that these men have is powerful. But it's powerful beforehand, not after. The conversations you should be having about not having a goddamn kid should be had before your ejaculation. If she didn't understand that, didn't respect that, or if you didn't trust that, you shouldn't be laying down with her just because she cute. Guess what? There's a lot of cute women out here. Maybe you got to be a little more patient with your libido to find the right woman. But that's just too damn much like right, ain't it? That's too much like right to sit there and be patient enough and wait for the right woman, to explore for the right woman. And if you have these thug characteristics, look like a thug, walk like a thug, got tattoos like a thug, eventually you's going to find you the right woman that's going to adhere to what it is that you want to do. But these MFers are not patient at all. Clearly not patient. Because not only do you get one woman pregnant, you in a whole lot. Look at this. That is misleading like a MFer. I'm trying my best not to cuss. Y'all look at this. Where's that damn picture at? Look at this. Kayvon Warren, Valentine Forever. Is that not misleading? You're giving this woman love and your actions that signify love. You're giving her signals and giving her babies. Why would she not try to lock you in? You're giving out all the signals. My Valentine Forever. Those are things that you've told her. Does you know why he's not having a bunch of conversations about I don't want to have a kid by you and using condoms? You know why? Because that's going to get him less pussy. I got to take another drink to that. Because that's going to get him less sex when you start having conversations that actually make sense. But that's what responsible people do. Do we got some responsible people in the chat? Shout out to my brothers who are in the chat who do it the right way, who are responsible, or who have learned from their mistakes. Shout out to my good, responsible brothers in the chat. I know we got some in there. When you start talking sense, yes, the sexual activity is going to go down, but it's supposed to go down on purpose because now you have a purpose. Having a purpose is going to get you somewhere. Having a purpose is actually going to be conducive to the black community. Ain't it? You're talking about how to fix the black community, and then you point out the things that you got to do to have a productive black community. And you know what? We give it the middle finger and we continue to just keep doing it when we know the way that we're going is not a successful route to go, right? You say, I'm right, thank you. Can't fix stupid. Said, I'm dead on point, thank you. I haven't even got into the other two idiots here. Let's get there. So he said he was in a financial bind and he did not want her to have a baby, which is clearly a lie. Pillage further stated that Kenamore, the woman, was killed on the very day she was scheduled to give birth. That is cruel. Now, according to Pillage, Warren, which is the dude, with the help of Irvin and Suggs, the other two fools, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, allegedly broke into Kenamore's home with the intent to stage a burglary. We'll come back to that. Warren even requested bereavement leave from his job prior to the death, a detail that underscores a premeditated nature of the crime. You can't be that level of dumb. How stupid can you be? Stupid is stupid thugs. These people go above and beyond stupid. I'm so glad I made this live. Definitely learned from my mistakes and move very differently. Thank you. And shout out to you. Thank you, Jada. Thank you. This is how the other two get involved. Let me see if I can pull their pictures up. That's how the other two get involved. I'm going to get a good, nice picture of them. Here you go. The man in the middle tells these two fools, act like you're going to rob me and accidentally shoot her, allegedly. I'm just guessing. Yeah, like Ray Caruth. Thank you. It's giving Ray Caruth. You're absolutely right. Some of y'all are elders like me in the chat. I'm kind of old, so hey. I remember the Ray Caruth story. If y'all haven't heard about that, look it up. Exactly like this. The man in the middle said, we're going to stage it as a robbery. Y'all get away. I'm not going to tell on y'all. She dies and I get away. But here's the thing about stupidity. You usually will leave breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs that this fool left was you took bereavement leave, which signifies a death has happened in your family, and you do it before the woman dies. So who in your family was dead, or who were you planning on being dead, ends up dead, and then they end up catching the other two fools. Why? Because y'all all are just a cluster of stupidity. This should have been one of the happiest days of India's life, the prosecutor said in a release. Instead, the father of the child conspired with two others to kill her. It's heartbreaking. My office will see that justice is done for both India and her baby. I wish they would have gave the name again because the baby actually had a really cool name. Warren's attorney, Clyde Bennett, refuted the claim that Warren wanted to terminate the pregnancy and said the client actually wanted this child, which the lie detector, I believe, is going to say that's a lie. Yep. Irvin's attorney, Robert Jones, said his client has no ties to this case. People reached out to the attorneys for Warren and Irvin on Saturday, August the 30th, but did not receive an immediate response. It's unclear if Suggs has legal representation to comment on his behalf. Warren and Irvin are in custody at the Hamilton County Justice Center on a $600,000 bond, while Suggs is currently serving a sentence in Ohio on unrelated charges. I'm trying to figure out things I can say that might not get me flagged. Like, why would you even think bereavement? Like, just, I mean, can you be that damn stupid? I mean, I guess you can. I want y'all to think about this. Look at this story. Let me take this picture back. Let me go back. I'm going to pause this picture. Hold on, right here. Let's pause it right there. I want y'all to look at this, and I want y'all to tell me, since Black Lives Matter, and I believe that they do, how many black lives did we lose in this story? Y'all take a moment. I want y'all to answer. If you've been listening, I want y'all to tell me, since Black Lives Matter, which I believe that they do, how many black lives did we lose in this single story? Anybody like to type a number in there? And don't worry, it's not a trick question. I'm just curious, why are there no marches in Ohio? I'm curious why there is no We Shall Overcomes. I'm wondering why BLM is not out in the streets marching. We lose one black life and the country is in a freaking uproar. Yes? Can we name some of those names? I think I have them in here somewhere. See if I can find them. Let's go to my good old notes. Let's see here. Do I have it? Oh, not that one. Right here. Let's go to some of these names. Do y'all remember the names? Dante Wright, Ahmaud Arbery, Alton Sterling, Walter L. Scott, Rashard Brooks, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Stephon Clark. Y'all remember those names? Right? The country was burning in an uproar. Y'all can throw some more names in the chat. Was in an uproar for each one of those lives that were lost. Maybe rightfully so. Maybe rightfully so. But why is it that when you talk about this woman, let me get her name back up here. When you talk about India Kennemore, when you talk about Robert Irving, when you talk about Kayvon Warren, when you talk about Lamar Morris Suggs, and when you talk about her unborn baby, why are we not in an uproar when we lose dozens of lives, hundreds of lives? Y'all be hearing about did y'all hear about that shooting in Chicago? They say like what, 40 people got shot, or 46 people got shot or something like that, got injured from a shooting. I'm like, over Labor Day weekend? Like how? How were you able to shoot that many people? And there's no outrage. Nobody wants to sit in the National Guard for that. 36 people shot, and we're just going to act like that's normal. You've lost not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 black lives, 3 of those lives which are going to jail, 2 of those black lives which are deceased. And over what? Miscommunication about what the expectation of either having a baby or not having a baby is, or being deceptive about you having another girlfriend outside of your soon-to-be baby mama and you trying to clean it up. Either way, it don't sound very manly to me. Like, I don't know what is so attractive about that. Here's what's even scarier. Let me throw this out there before I get into the news stories. I'm sorry, I just got a lot to talk about. Either 3 of these dudes, and here's what's scary about my people. 1, 2, 3. 3 dudes on the right ended a black woman and a black baby's life on purpose. And when those dudes get out of jail in the next 43 years, there's going to be some woman lined up ready to give them the draws and create children by them and put them in their house and support them and be like, that's my man, y'all. They will have no problem getting a woman. How scary is that? Don't matter what they did. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Oh my God, you said it was 53 people shot in Chicago. You have got to be kidding me. That's just, I can't wrap my mind around that. I would never, I could make my whole channel about Chicago. We're just not going to do that because I don't think nobody out there really cares like that, because it just keeps happening and I don't hear enough people trying to combat it. Y'all do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. I know you might not understand where I'm coming from. Maybe you don't like what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is right. And if you actually adhere to what I'm saying, it could actually make the black community a whole lot better, make the community safer, make how we go forward and pair bond way better. If you actually cared, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. Let's get it.
The way Three men accused of killing a pregnant woman are now in jail. Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Kelly Rippin.
And I'm Stephen Albritton. The 2023 shooting in Coleraine Township left India Kinnamore and her unborn baby dead. WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak is here with the emotional day in court as two suspects face the judge. Danielle.
India's mother spoke, and it was very powerful. And here's how we got to this point. On March 4th, 2023, Coleraine Township officers responded to Hidden Meadows Drive and found 26-year-old Kinnamore shot and killed. She was pregnant. And today in court, we learned she died on the day she was set to be induced. Yesterday, police charged 20-year-old Robert Irving, 30-year-old Kayvon Warren, and 22-year-old Lamar Morris Suggs, all with 2 counts of murder each. Irving and Warren went in front of a judge today. Prosecutors say all 3 men conspired to kill Kinnamore and her unborn child. The victim's mother, Terry Gilmore, spoke in court. She revealed her daughter was in a relationship with Warren and pregnant with his child.
I would like to ask for either a high bond or no bond. They were in a relationship.
Sorry, I had to cut in to say this. Lord have mercy. Labor Day weekend, there were 58 people shot in Chicago and 8 killed. How do y'all even still have a population at this point? That's a weekend, not a year, not a decade. That'd be a lot if it was a decade. That's a weekend. Man, look, that's why I don't even talk about it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Shit.
He killed his own son or plotted to kill his own son. He's been out for 2 years while this investigation is going on, while my daughter and his grandson are resting in a grave. I don't think he should see the light of day until this case is solved. That's what I would ask of this court.
Warren and Irving are held on a $600,000 bond. The third man, Suggs, was already in prison on an unrelated weapons charge. Danielle Dindak, WLWT News 5.
Heartbreak.
3 men are facing murder charges for killing 26-year-old India Kinnamore and her unborn child. Thanks for joining us here at 5:30. I'm Ashley Kirkland.
And I'm Chris Jacobs. The 2023 shooting happened in Coleraine Township, and WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak has been covering this case from the beginning. And Danielle, 2 of the men charged were arraigned today, and India's mother was also there.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris. She spoke, and it was very emotional. She told the courtroom that her daughter was killed on the day she was set to get induced.
My name is Terry Kinnamore. I'm India's mother.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Behind the glass sits a pain that can't be seen but heard. For Terry Kinnamore, that heartbreak dates back to March 2023.
I got the phone call from my grandson to say my mommy has been shot.
26-year-old India Kinnamore was pregnant.
Scheduled to be induced the same morning as the murder.
It would take almost 2.5 years for charges to come. 3 men. 20-year-old Robert Irving, 30-year-old Kayvon Warren, and 22-year-old Lamar Morris Suggs.
Conspiring to come up with this plan to kill Miss Kinnamore and her unborn child.
Irving and Warren spent their Friday morning in front of a judge. Inside this courtroom, we learned the fatal family ties.
Mr. Warren was involved in a relationship with the victim. The victim was pregnant, and that at some point the evidence that has been uncovered was that he wanted her to terminate that pregnancy.
By the way, they don't say that he's a shooter. They claim that there's a conspiracy. They claim that Lamar Suggs is a shooter. Give him a high bond.
But this fierce mom had words for Warren.
I don't think he should see the light of day until this case is solved. That's what I would ask of this court.
Warren and Irvin are being held on a $600,000 bond. Suggs not in court today because he was already in prison on an unrelated weapons charge. Danielle Tindak, WLWT News 5.
At 5:30, the mother of a woman murdered in Colerain Township is speaking out for the first time.
So India Kinamore and her unborn child were killed in a shooting in 2023. And last week, Colerain Township Police announced 3 people were charged in her murder.
Brittany Harry has a story you will only see right here on Fox 19 Now.
Well, India Kinamore's mother spoke to us from here at Spring Grove Cemetery, where her daughter and unborn grandchild are both buried. Terry Kinamore says she always knew justice would come, but wasn't sure how long it would take.
I never gave up. There was a lot of people that just thought that this case would never be solved. And I have faith in God. I know that God can do anything.
A grieving mother sits next to her daughter and unborn grandson's grave. In the beginning, Terry Kinamore says it was hard for her to visit. Now she says it feels a little bit lighter.
Now, I'm able to come back and tell her that the people that did this to her, they have been caught and justice will be served.
Colerain Township Police announced last week 3 people have been charged with the murder of India Kinamore and her unborn child, Robert Irvin, Lamar Morris Suggs, and Kayvon Warren.
I just don't know why someone would want to do something like that. Not to just one person, but 2 people.
Terry says Warren is the child's father. He and India had been in a relationship for a couple of years. The other 2 suspects, Terry says she had never met.
I thought that Kayvon was a nice, upstanding gentleman.
Okay, gotta pause it right there. There's no way you thought that. Birds of a feather flock together, and there is absolutely no way that if he could behave this way and his friends will willingly do it, and they all thought that they were dumb enough and they all thought that they would get away, it is impossible that you thought that he was an upstanding young man. I thought he was awesome. While he's having sex with your daughter, getting her pregnant, taking pregnancy pictures, all the while he has a whole nother, talking about how he loves her, the love of his life, and his forever Valentine, right? But yet he has a whole nother relationship going on outside of that. What about that is upstanding? You see it in their actions. You can see it by how they raise their kids. They watch little boys like this grow up into men like this. They know exactly what this is. They know exactly what they're attracted to. Tell me, am I wrong? Don't act like the mom is clueless. She's not. From what I was told, not like the song, this is this woman's, the one that was killed. This is India's other son, from what I was told. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll scrub this. But if this is her child, here's what I got to say about this picture. I blocked his face out 2 different ways with the pixelation and the little black stripe across there to not expose his identity. But what does this symbolize? This symbolizes like what most sisters in the black community want to raise. They want to raise a boy that is cool, that is hard, that is thugging, and is prone to joining gangs. What is this? He trying to be cool and hard. Mama loves that. These mamas love to see their little boys act hard and yeah, I'm bad, I'm a badass, and this and that. And what's even crazier is they actually are encouraging their girls to be sassy and hard too. Which, in my opinion, which is why this breeded mentality is why you see so many of these women that don't care about where they get caught, who see them, who got them on tape, doing all this fighting out there. Am I right or wrong about this? It's the way that they're raising their kids, and they act like they're clueless when somebody comes and robs them, shoots them, beats them up, kills them, takes their life, RAPEs their kids. They're shocked. They're shocked. Why are you shocked when you're breeding this? Is it possible that this woman, India, grew this mentality on her own? Yes, it is very possible, but something about this tells me that with this grandmother, depending on how the type of man that she had in her household and how she came up and what she was attracted to, there's a good chance that the apple didn't fall from the tree, right? I don't see a man there supporting her. Maybe there is one. But more times than none, when you see these interviews, you generally will not see a man supporting these women. You usually see a bunch of women out there and a bunch of kids, no men. Right? So I would have to think that your outcomes, being single mother, independent, black woman, I don't need no man, blah, blah, blah. You talk this stuff, but then you turn around and have a baby to keep a man there when the man clearly doesn't want to be there. So my question would be a simple question. It's a simple question. Get mad about it if you want, but it's a simple question. Why do so many of these women have babies by men who verbally state that they don't want to have kids by that person? Why do you have kids by a person who has expressed they don't want you pregnant or have the kid? To me, this boils down to a thing of self-worth. I think that a lot of these women don't have a lot of self-value in themselves. You tell me you don't want to have my kid, you ain't got to tell me but once. I even got to think it or see it in your actions. Matter of fact, we could just go the route of I'll believe it that you want to have kids if you actually marry me rather than just talking about this love shit. You could prove it on paper. You could cohabitate, have it on paper. Like they did in the old school in the 40s and 50s and 60s when the black community actually had strong homes, strong families, strong values, right? What do we have now? A bunch of empty promises. Sorry to get political, but the Democrats in politics, in office, offer the people who follow them a bunch of empty promises, and they follow right behind it like a herd of sheep. Right or wrong? These women follow behind these dudes who give out a bunch of empty promises with nothing concrete to effing show for it. I could cut this video up. So everything I've said, I could cut this up and make this a whole separate video just trying to teach, but who's going to learn? Who's going to care? I don't know. I think people are just going to throw their hands up and just act like I didn't say what I just said. So I'm going to play the rest of this stupid video. So here we go.
And he turned out to be a complete opposite, a monster. Because only a monster would do something like this.
The shooting happened at an apartment complex on Hidden Meadows Drive, according to Colerain police, but a motive is still unknown. Kinnamore, Terry says, was due to deliver baby Kyron within hours of being killed.
She couldn't wait to have him and to meet him and hold him, and she never got that chance. And he never got that chance to feel his mother's arms around him and to hear, "I love you."
Terry says Warren's lack of concern about the status of the investigation was always a red flag.
And to come and find out that you had something to do with it, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face. You never really cared. You couldn't have cared.
Well, Terry says that her daughter was always willing to help someone. She described her as fun-spirited and funny, and she says that she misses her every single day. Meanwhile, both Irvin and Warren, they appeared in court on Friday. Their bonds set at $600,000. Suggs is in the Ohio Department of Corrections on separate charges. Reporting in Spring Grove Village, Brittany Harry, Fox 19 Now.
Brittany, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I know not everybody is going to agree with everything that I'm saying or even partially agree with. Maybe you don't agree with nothing I've said. But I'm trying. I know what's right, and I'm trying to give the information as best as I can. I will hope that if for nothing else, at least my lineage, my kids will listen. I've been giving them information most of their life. I try to help. I try to help other people with their kids. This is what's right. This is what works. This is what does not work. Continuing to do it this way is not working out very well for you. Now you are starting to see more than ever in front of your face with social media and true crime being out there. You are now seeing more now than ever that going this route is not working and it's blowing up in front of your face. You think you know everything? I think the evidence speaks different, okay? So to the young lady, India, who lost her life, of course we wish her an RIP because she did not deserve to lose her life like this. She might have been influenced by these men, and this might just be what her whole community is attracted to is people like this. You become a product of your environment and you start to behave that way. That does not mean she deserved to lose her life because she did not. So India, RIP to her child, which is the most innocent of all. RIP to that lost soul. I think she was actually having a boy, if I'm not mistaken. So, but thank you guys so much for listening to the story with an open mind and an open heart. I speak more about these stories because it means more to me than most stories do, okay? But they all mean something to me, but this just goes a little bit deeper, and I hope you guys understand that, okay? Thank you.